Tesla email just leaked how SpaceX delivered Starlink internet to Ukraine. A company as big as Tesla doesn't always have its things lying around for everyone to see. But even after being one of the most profitable companies globally, Tesla does have slippery hands after all. Would you believe it if we told you that Tesla had one of its emails leaked about how it managed to deliver Starlink internet to the people in war-torn Ukraine? No, right? We wouldn't believe it either, but it did happen. Before we begin to discuss the email in question, let's look at the context of the email, which is Tesla's aid to Ukraine in terms of Starlink internet. Starlink in Ukraine. Starlink wasn't just sent to Ukraine during the war, and it has been sent there for a few months. It wasn't sent to Ukraine officially, and a man named Oleg Kutkov had bought it off eBay a few months ago. Kutkov said he didn't get the dish through Musk's donation. He happened to buy it months ago through eBay. Kutkov couldn't connect it to the internet then, nor did he expect to do so. Kutkov is an engineer and said he got the dish to see how it worked, not make it work. Then Russia invaded his country. This is just a single example and might not be the case for everyone. As for Starlink, its satellite internet service is currently active in Ukraine. More terminals are being sent as Russian troops are invading and putting their best efforts into disrupting the company's internet access, as per Musk. Amidst all this, Musk urged people in Ukraine using the Starlink system to be cautious because the probability of being targeted is high. The more users are seen using Starlink services, the more significant the threat to the life is. Imagine living in a time when people will target you to use the internet, especially when the internet is so widespread in all parts of the world. Musk cautioned people to turn on the devices only when needed and place the antenna as far as possible from the people, so that it doesn't risk their lives. Musk suggested the camouflage could be placed over the antenna to avoid visual detection, mainly because satellite signals can reportedly be used to locate and target people according to their geographical location. With Musk being such a massive part of this conflict between the two countries, many of his critics have said that he might only be concerned about his Starlink servers. But that isn't the case if it was before. After the first aid, it might have been thought that Musk was only worried about his services in a foreign country. But ever since he sent help for the second time in Ukraine, it seems as if the man genuinely wants to help Ukraine and finally put an end to the war. With Starlink satellites growing, the company is well on track with its goal to provide internet to everyone on the planet, regardless of the location they are in. These satellites provide an alternative service to internet connections that are spread through the means of land. Even in rough terrains and impossible landscapes, Starlink offers its service. This is pure because these physical factors don't bind the service. However, the hard part is deploying this service in a remote area because of challenging landscapes. The real question that comes from anyone who gets to know about Starlink is how fast the link will be able to travel from space to our homes. Second aid to Ukraine. After the first batch of Starlink internet devices was delivered, there wasn't the only help SpaceX and Starlink were going to offer to Ukraine. Government officials of Ukraine reached out to Elon Musk on Twitter once again after the first aid was received. Musk then sent another shipment of Starlink stations to Ukraine, which resulted in the Ukrainian officials thanking him once again for his efforts in the war. The Ukrainian Prime Minister and President thanked him most for help. Received the second shipment of Starlink stations, he keeps his word. Thank you for supporting Ukraine and peace in the entire world. Wrote Mikhailo Fedorov, Ukraine's Vice Prime Minister and the country's digital transformation minister. In a tweet on March 9th, Fedorov tagged Musk under the tweet, after which the CEO of Starlink replied, "You're welcome. We have also sent power adapters for car cigarette lighters, polar battery packs, and generators for places where electricity is not available." With that being a thank you from the Prime Minister, the President had to give his thank you note. "I'm grateful to him for supporting Ukraine with words and deeds. Next week we will receive another batch of Starlink systems for destroyed cities." That wasn't the only exchange between the two of them, with Zelensky saying that Ukraine is interested in asking for more SpaceX services for possible space projects in a while, but that will be discussed after the war, President. More Starlink internet devices were given to the people of Ukraine, and this will give the Ukrainians better stability than before, as they remain connected with the outside world. Meanwhile, other space entities worldwide are applying sanctions over Russia as they look to boycott any kind of relations with the country. This method might cause the country to stop what it's doing because war is never the answer. In this regard, Musk supported the Russians who do not want what is happening because these Russians are the sanest people in the world. Musk had his share of controversy when he challenged Russian President Vladimir Putin to a fight, saying the winner gets Russia. Although this might not have been an open invitation to fight, this is expected from a man like Musk, who likes being all over the internet. The fight might not have materialized, but everyone got a funny moment during these times of crisis, which is badly needed. Such jokes, however, could not prevent Tesla's confidential emails from being leaked, as all the help that had been done above by Musk was revealed to the public. Leaked emails. An email Tesla sent to its staff in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, EMEA, offices some 10-odd days ago showed that the electric vehicle maker supported the Ukrainian government in war by accelerating the delivery of Starlink terminals, and also offered paid-off time to Ukrainians if called on to fight the war. Tesla's director of Northern Europe sent the email, and the details in the email showed that Tesla offered at least 3 months of pay to any Ukrainian employee of theirs if they were called back home to defend their last against the Russians. Since Tesla doesn't officially operate in Ukraine, it doesn't have staff on the ground. But if more manpower is needed, Ukrainian citizens worldwide will be called back to their country. Tesla's email also praised employees for their help in delivering Starlink units to Ukraine, which explained how Elon Musk could get internet terminals just 1 day after he promised to send the satellite dishes. According to the email, employees in Germany volunteered to package Starlink terminals for rapid delivery. EMEA employees also assembled Tesla's Powerwall units, which consisted of a lithium-ion battery energy storage system that could provide backup power that would complement the Starlink delivery. Some of these Powerwall cables were made using scrap from the newly operational Berlin Gigafactory of Tesla, which gained conditional approval to start commercial production this month. The email also said that Tesla had contacted about 5,000 car owners in Ukraine to inform them that they could use some supercharger stations for absolutely free in Poland, Hungary, and Slovakia. This week, Tesla also expanded the free charging scheme to all superchargers across Poland and Slovakia. Eventually, it was a moment of coming full circle for Ukraine and Starlink satellites, as later on, in a talk at the California Institute of Technology, SpaceX president and COO Gwynne Shotwell revealed the company had been working on plans to launch the Starlink internet service in Ukraine for 6 weeks before the urgent request for the internet service arrived. An official letter was being written to the Ukrainian government to start its operations in the country, and the tweet that was received eventually gave it the go-ahead. The only thing Tesla, SpaceX, and Starlink would be glad about is that the email didn't contain any confidential information about either of the companies, because these companies do not mess around with the information. And if vital info gets leaked somehow, these companies and the man leading them would be significantly impacted. Besides that, Musk's help towards Ukraine is to be praised because he will be remembered as the person who stepped up and delivered in times of need. With something that was supposed to happen later on, Musk went ahead and made it happen just with his word. And that's something the Ukrainians are going to remember for a long time to come. That's all we had for today's video. If you liked the video, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to avoid missing out on any new videos. We'll see you in another video.